This conference will now be recorded.
So, hi everyone, welcome to our Oracle Goldengate 7-week learning Oracle Goldengate challenge. My name is Ashish Agarwal, and I'll be delivering this lecture to you. So, before commencing the session, just a quick round of update regarding my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Ashish Agarwal _GG. So, if you haven't visited the channel, I would request you to do visit the channel and do like, share, and subscribe the channel. The channel is dedicated to Goldengate related videos. Thank you. So, in today's session, we are going to discuss about. This is Oracle Goldengate training. So, the agenda of this training include introduction to Oracle Goldengate, architectures, different architecture involved, installation of Oracle Goldengate, different options to install, and how will you decide where to install Goldengate. Then we'll be discussing about different concepts and components involved in Oracle Goldengate training, how to perform DML replication using Oracle Goldengate. So when you insert, update, delete the data on source, which requires exclusive commits. So how do you replicate that using Oracle Goldengate? How to perform initial load using Oracle Goldengate? That is another important thing. Then data filtration and transformation. So Goldengate supports data selection and data transformation using Oracle Goldengate. Now, apart from unidirectional configuration, Goldengate also supports bidirectional configuration. So we are also going to discuss about bidirectional configuration, and also we'll discuss about bidirectional auto CDR, which is the new feature. Next, we are going to discuss about DDL replication, then performance related stuff like how to monitor the lag in Oracle Goldengate, troubleshooting, performance tuning. These things will continue regularly in our session. So we'll be discussing these things regularly in our sessions. Then we are going to discuss about Goldengate checkpoint. How does Goldengate ensures integrity in its environment? Then security is another major feature which we are going to discuss and explore. Then we are going to discuss about Goldengate parameters. So what are different Goldengate parameters involved? So we are going to discuss about those as well. Then log dump utility. So has anyone heard about log dump utility? So log dump utility is used to read the Goldengate trail files. So we are going to discuss about Goldengate trail files as well. So how can you how can you read Goldengate trail files? The trail files which are generated in Goldengate environment, they are in binary format. So how can you read them for troubleshooting purpose? So we are going to discuss about that as well. Then performance tuning, as I mentioned, parallel replicate again is the new feature. Goldengate heartbeat table is used to monitor Oracle Goldengate environment. Performance metric server is again new feature for managing the performance of or monitoring the Goldengate performance. So then Goldengate self-describing trail files 19C new features. Obey command, macros include files. We are going to discuss a lot of those. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about introduction to Oracle Goldengate. We are going to then discuss about overview of Oracle Goldengate. Next, we are going to discuss about what are different types of architectures available in Oracle Goldengate. What is Oracle Goldengate Veridata? Then different types of extracts and replicates. And then we'll be setting up a virtual box and training guidelines. Then we'll discuss about Goldengate architecture, how data flow, how to check Goldengate certification metrics, how to download and install Goldengate, deciding where to install Goldengate. Now, this is another very important part, like where you have to decide where you want to install Oracle Goldengate. So we'll be discussing about that, and then prerequisites to set up Oracle Goldengate as well. We'll discuss. So let us start with Oracle database architecture. So Goldengate is a product which is which works with database. So Goldengate is a change data capture tool, CDC tool. You must have heard the term CDC, right? So Goldengate works with database. So the advantage of using Oracle Goldengate is it works with Oracle as well as non-Oracle databases. So it works with heterogeneous databases as well. So heterogeneous databases include SQL Server, DB2, MySQL, Informix, and other databases as well it supports. Now, as I mentioned, Goldengate is a change data capture tool. So basically, it captures the changes from the database. Now, those changes are recorded where? In case of Oracle, those changes are recorded into redo logs or backup of redo logs, which are called as archive logs. In case of other databases like MySQL, SQL Server, those are recorded into transaction logs of the database. So basically, in Oracle, in every database, I would, if I have to summarize, the changes whatever you make to the database, insert, update, delete, or any DDL change, those changes are recorded into transaction logs of the database. In case of Oracle, those transaction logs are called as redo logs or backup of redo logs, which are called as archive logs. Okay, so Oracle Goldengate fetches the changes from the transaction log. So let me quickly give you overview of Oracle database architecture. This Oracle database architecture is very big, but we are going to discuss what is needed by Oracle. So Oracle database architecture is divided into two parts: instance and database files. Now again, instance is divided into two parts: memory components and background processes. So your memory components include your shared pool, library cache, data dictionary cache, then database buffer cache, Java pool, redo log buffer, and large pool, along with other memory components. Your background processes include pmon, smon, database writer, log writer, checkpoint, and there are other background processes involved. Now, your Oracle database files include data files, which are the actual files, So when you do, say for example, you're selecting a data from a table, select star from employee table. So you get the output. So from where you get that output from? So you get that output from data files. Then you have control files involved in the database. So control files are the files with critical files which stores the metadata information. Then redo log files are the files which stores the changes, whatever changes are happening, insert, update, delete, or any DDL changes, those changes are recorded into redo log file. Now there are limited size of redo log file involved at database level. So what happens, once the redo log files are full, they flush their data out, and the backup of those redo log files is taken on disk, which are called as archive log files. So archive log files are the files which stores the changes, which are the backup of a redo log file, which also contains the changes of the database. Now how it works is, say for example, you are updating any row, so that becomes a dirty buffer. So say for example, you're selecting or updating any row. So what happens is, database buffer cache stores that update record. So that update, whatever you do, basically it happens in database buffer cache. Now before your database writer, say for example, you have committed that record. So say for example, before database writer process writes that updated record, or I should call it dirty buffer, before that dirty buffer gets returned into the data file using database writer process, your log writer process writes that data from redo log buffer to redo log file. So log writer process writes the data, so that dirty buffer, whatever has been there, dirty buffer, the data of dirty buffer gets returned into redo log buffer. Now database writer process writes that dirty buffer data from database buffer cache to data file. However, prior to that, log writer process writes that data from redo log buffer to redo log file. So log writer process writes the data from redo log buffer to redo log file whenever there is commit, or when redo log buffer is 1/3 full, or when there is 1 MB of redo, or before database writer process writes the data from database buffer cache to data file. Now the question comes, at the database level, why do we need these redo log files? So redo log files are needed for redo purpose. Say for example, before database writer process, so you have committed the data, but before database writer process can write the data to the data files, prior to that your database got crashed, and if you have to recover it, so during recovery you can redo the data, whatever data is available in redo log file. So it helps you in recovery purpose. So that's why you have redo log files. Now these redo log files or archive backup of redo log files, which are called as archive log files, serve as source for Oracle Goldengate. So Goldengate, I again repeat, is a change data capture tool. Change data capture tool means whatever changes are happening at the database level, those changes gets captured by Oracle Goldengate and applied on the target database using Oracle Goldengate. Is that clear? Okay. So Goldengate is a product change data capture tool. Now Goldengate has its competitors available in the market. It's not like Goldengate is a standalone player. Goldengate has its own competitors like EMC Recover Point, IBM Mirror. You must have heard they, Attunity as well. So Shareplex as well. So those are the competitors available in the market. But still, Goldengate is widely used solution. Still, Goldengate is widely used solution. Why? The reason being, Goldengate sends the data in real time with sub-second latency. So Goldengate can replicate the data in near real time with minimal lag. Goldengate supports heterogeneous environments across different database and hardware types. So though the product is Oracle Goldengate, but it is meant to support, or it supports your non-Oracle databases as well. And the major advantage of using Oracle Goldengate is it also works on heterogeneous environments as well. So your source database can be Linux, target can be Windows. Goldengate can replicate the data. Similarly, your source can be Sun Solaris, target can be any platform, Goldengate will replicate the data. So there are no restrictions. Similarly, Goldengate delivers high performance with low impact. So Goldengate can replicate. So Goldengate is a product basically which sits outside of the database. It is the tool which is external to the database, right? So if I or anyone say Goldengate doesn't have any impact on the database, even though the impact on the database is minimal, like it could be 0.1%, 1%, 2%, or 0.001%. I won't quantify the amount. But yeah, because it is the tool which sits on database and it is external to the database, it establishes connectivity with database, right? So it has a minimal impact, very minimal impact. In fact, when you install, you may not be able to see it as well, but it delivers high performance. So Goldengate is a product which delivers high performance with low impact. Ability to move large volume of data very efficiently. So Goldengate can replicate your large objects like blob, clob, or any large volume of data. If you have to replicate, Goldengate can replicate that very efficiently and quickly, and no single point of failure. So Goldengate involves multiple processes in your environment, so it becomes easier for you to troubleshoot. So there are multiple set of processes involved, which you'll see when we discuss the architecture of Oracle Goldengate. So these are the technical reasons. Now, what are the financial reasons for using Oracle Goldengate? Why Goldengate is being widely used nowadays? So another reason why Goldengate is widely used is lot of organizations, they sign end user license agreement with Oracle Goldengate. So they sign end user license agreement with Oracle Goldengate. So when they sign end user license agreement with Oracle Goldengate, they are free to use Oracle Goldengate based on, of course, based on their agreement. They are free to use Oracle Goldengate on any number of environments. So what Goldengate does is, what organizations do is, because they are free to use Oracle Goldengate in any environment, they use Oracle Goldengate because it is part of their end user license agreement with, because separately if they go and buy Oracle Goldengate, they will have to pay per core, per database, etc. But when you have an agreement with Oracle, in that case you can use based on the agreement, based on the payment you make. But yeah, you are free to use. So most of the organizations sign end user license agreement, and the things it offers on table, Oracle Goldengate, they are immense. So that's why organizations are using Oracle Goldengate. So Goldengate is widely used product in the market. Many of you knows about that. So it is being used for lot of things, like it ensures continuous availability for heterogeneous systems, real-time data access for reporting. So when you set up Oracle Goldengate, you can use a target system for reporting purpose, which can offload lot of queries from your main OLTP server. Real-time data for business intelligence. So Goldengate along with Informatica or OBI is one of the best business intelligence solution available in the market. Goldengate also supports zero downtime upgradation and migration to Oracle database and application. So right now, you must have seen, like nowadays, Goldengate is in boom due to these cloud migrations going on. So organizations are moving their data from on-prem to cloud, lift and shift basically. So when you want to migrate your on-prem server to cloud, you need to have you need zero downtime for that purpose. Otherwise, there could be some financial loss to organizations. So for zero downtime upgradation and migration, Goldengate is getting widely used to cloud nowadays. So Goldengate is being used in all top financial banks, top telecom companies, food and drug stores. Goldengate was founded initially for ATM networks. So most of the ATM networks are using it. Financial data services. So you name a domain and Goldengate is being used over. So many of you who may be working in Oracle, you may know about that as well. And you must be seeing in different domains if you are working. Okay. So Goldengate supports high availability, zero downtime upgradation and migration, live reporting and business intelligence. We'll be discussing all about that. As the session goes on, you'll understand what I mean. We'll be implementing things, we'll be setting up stuff. So just giving you the introduction right now to Oracle Goldengate, then we'll move to architecture. So Goldengate supports different databases and platform. It supports Oracle, DB2, SQL Server, Sybase, Ingress, Teradata, Enscribe. So Goldengate was initially developed for this Enscribe database, ATM databases. So ATM databases are on Enscribe. So initially when Goldengate was founded in 1995, it had the capability of replicating the Enscribe database. And now we see today, so I'll give you a quick history overview of Goldengate. So Goldengate was founded in 1995 and it is named after famous San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. Until 2009, it was Goldengate. In 2009, Oracle overtook it and since then it is known as Oracle Goldengate. Okay, now from 2009 it is known as Oracle Goldengate. Now from 2009 to 2021, Goldengate has taken a lot of journey. And now today it is supporting your NoSQL databases, like latest databases as well. Those are in list of support as well. Postgres database it supports. Informix it supports. So most of the databases are supported. Along with that, different OS and platforms like Windows, Linux, Sun Solaris, HP UX, IBM, and other platforms as well. You can name most of the platforms it supports as well. Okay. Any questions so far? So this was the introduction to Goldengate. Now we'll move to different types of architectures and then we'll discuss about architecture of Oracle Goldengate. But before that, if you have any query, you can ask or you have the chat option as well. So say for example, guys, one thing let me tell you, I'll give you chance to ask a question. So it's not like you will not get any chance. But in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can also post your questions in the chat window and I'll answer those. So any questions so far what we have discussed? It was just the introduction to Goldengate, nothing else. But still, if you have any question, you can ask. Okay, so let us proceed. So let us now discuss about architectural overview of Oracle Goldengate. So we were discussing about, like, this is Oracle Goldengate 7-week learning Oracle Goldengate classic architecture session, right? So what is classic architecture? What is what are different types of architecture available? Let us first discuss about that. So as I mentioned, Goldengate was overtook by Oracle in 2009. So from 2009 to 2017, there was only one way to configure Goldengate, and that was through command prompt GGSCA. Still, most of you who have seen Goldengate environment, they must still be using that command prompt GGSCA even. So that command prompt was available or is available since 2009, and until 2017 that was the only way to configure Oracle Goldengate. Now from 2017, Oracle from 2017, Oracle introduced the new type of architecture of Oracle Goldengate, which is called as microservices architecture. So microservices architecture is different to classic. It is available from Goldengate version 12.3 version onwards. So from Goldengate version 12.3 onwards, we have both classic as well as microservices available. So classic architecture is command prompt GGSCI based architecture. Until 2017, it was the only way to set up Goldengate. From 2017, a new type of architecture has been introduced, which is called as microservices architecture. Now, what is the difference between classic and microservices? Which is widely used product, and what is the future of Oracle Goldengate? Which type of architecture is going to be used in future? Let us discuss about that. So, classic architecture is, as I mentioned, is available since beginning, and still it is existent. It's not like it is not existing right now. It is still there, and most of the around 80%, if you ask me, as per Oracle data released last time, 80% were using around 1.5 years ago. So I would say still most of the organizations are still using classic. So around 75% would be still be using classic. So it is command prompt based architecture GGSCA, and classic architecture is available for both Oracle as well as non-Oracle databases. Oracle Goldengate microservices. It is available from 12.3 Goldengate version onwards. So GGSCI full form is Goldengate Software Command Line Interface. So basically it's the command line of Oracle Goldengate. Oracle Goldengate microservices, which is also called as MSA, it is available from Goldengate version 12.3 onwards. It allows you to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Goldengate through GUI, and allows for integration with cloud application. It allows for integration with cloud application. Now, until Goldengate 19c, Goldengate microservices is available only for Oracle database. Until Oracle, I repeat, guys, until Oracle Goldengate microservices 19c, Goldengate microservices is available for Oracle database only. Now, recently, around 2-3 months back, or 4 months back maybe, Oracle launched a new version of Goldengate, which is 21c. So from 21c, microservices support has been extended to SQL Server, MySQL, DB2, and Informix database. So basically, 4 more databases microservices has added support to. So microservices architecture has extended its support to heterogeneous databases as well. From 21c until 19c, microservices is supported or available for Oracle databases only. Now for this classic architecture, as I mentioned, it is still available for Oracle as well as non-Oracle database. Now let me tell you one more update from Oracle. From Goldengate 21c onwards, classic architecture is going to be deprecated. Guys, I'm saying deprecated, not desupported. So that is the major confusion what people have. So classic architecture will still be there, but they are not going to release any new feature for classic architecture going forward. Okay. So with this statement, we can say that Oracle is pushing its customer to use microservices architecture, and microservices architecture is going to be the future of Oracle Goldengate. Just like I would say now you may think that it can become redundant. No, it's same as your Windows DOS and Windows GUI, right? So Windows DOS is still existing, but none of them uses it because it is command prompt. GUI is easier to use. But let me take it in different way. The people who have worked in DOS, they have a lot in-depth knowledge than the people who have started, like me, who started working on GUI. I started working on GUI, so I would have lesser knowledge. Like, I don't know internally what is happening, but the person who has worked on DOS, he knows internally how things are working, right? So same thing with Golden Gate, I would say. When you work on classic architecture, learning microservices is very easy. So my means I always suggest to everyone that even though classic architecture is going to be deprecated, still it would take some time to go out of the market. But means it will take some time to make it redundant, because still classic architecture is being widely used, because it will take time for Oracle to upgrade its customers to microservices. But yeah, in future it may, when it may happen, still classic architecture is going to be there. Okay, so these are the two types of architectures available, which is Oracle Goldengate Classic Architecture and Oracle Goldengate Microservices Architecture. Guys, one more thing. What I mentioned is classic architecture is going to be deprecated from 21C onwards. So it means that it is only going to be deprecated for those databases for which microservices support is available. So microservices support, as I mentioned, is available for 5 databases: Oracle, DB2, MySQL, SQL Server, and Informix. So these 5 databases, classic architecture is going to be deprecated, but for others, it is going to continue. Now, Nadeem has mentioned very good point. Before they completely desupport classic, they should be extending MSA to all database platforms. That is absolutely correct. Another thing, they cannot desupport like classic for Oracle. They cannot do that. And as per my discussion with Oracle, again, that is not their plan, at least for next 5 years, I would say. Means that is speculation again, it can happen, but going by things which are happening, means by the way things are happening, the thing is, another thing, let me tell you, the development or everything, there was a plan, and there was some internal discussion happening earlier to do that. But the thing is, because of all these COVID and other stuff, what happened was Oracle wasn't able to provide like in-house support during those times, and maybe because of that things are delayed. So that is another point. Okay, now, so two types of architectures of Oracle Golden Gate include classic and microservices. Now there is one more product in Golden Gate family which is called as Veridata. Has anyone heard about that? You must have, definitely, if you have attended any of my session webinars. I've been talking about this a lot. So Golden Gate is a product which replicates the data. So there is one more product in Golden Gate family which is called as Veridata. Veridata, as the name suggests, it verifies the data for you. So Golden Gate replicates the data from source to target. So say for example, there are 10,000 records on source table and 9,000 records on target table. So what Veridata can do for you is, it can identify the discrepant records and it can repair those discrepancies for you. So two databases, so say for example your Golden Gate replication is going on for 10 years, then you are replicating the data of employee table from source to employee table on target. Now today you want to check what is the status of replication. So you identified that 1,000 records which were done around 5-6 years ago, they are missing. It could be due to any reason. It could be Golden Gate issue, it could be database issue. We're not going to talk about that, but we found out that the target table and source tables are not in sync. So what you did is you will run the Veridata job, identify the discrepant records, and then if you want to repair those discrepancies, Veridata can do for you as well. So Harpreet has a question: does Veridata run on top of classic MSA? Say we use it during cutover. Only rest of the time we use GGSCI MSA. So the product name, though it is Oracle Goldengate Veridata, but it runs on database level. So even if your Goldengate is not there or Goldengate is down, you can still use Veridata to compare. Say for example, there is data guard running between source and target, or there is any other replication tool running between source and target. Still you can use Veridata to compare the data. Okay? Okay. Now another important thing or another important clarification I want to make is, lot of people, what happens is they get confused or they get, okay, so Anusha is saying can you repeat it again for Veridata? Okay, I'll again repeat for Veridata before I proceed. So Veridata is a product which is used to verify the data for you. So you are replicating the data from source to target. Now suppose on source you have 10,000 records, on target you have 9,000 records. So there is that discrepancy of 1,000 records which has been identified. So what Veridata can do for you is it can do the data verification and it can repair those discrepancies as well for you. So whatever discrepancies are coming, Veridata can repair those discrepancies for you. So that is the advantage of using Veridata. Now Veridata is getting very popular nowadays. Another thing is in cloud migrations, whatever cloud migrations are going on. So upon migration, organizations want to confirm whether their data is in sync or not. So Veridata is getting very popular nowadays. So now let us discuss about different types of extracts and replicates available in Oracle Goldengate environment. So what are different types of extracts and replicates available in Oracle Goldengate environment?
Classic and integrated.
Yes, Soumya, tell me.
Yeah, classic and integrated.
Yeah, so I'm going to discuss about now different types of extract and replicate available. So what are different types of extracts and replicates available in Oracle Goldengate environment? So one of the major thing why what people get confused is between different types of architecture. So when I ask them that what type of architecture you are using, so many say integrated architecture. But guys, remember one thing, integrated is not type of architecture. There are only two types of architecture, classic architecture and microservices architecture. Now under classic architecture, you have different types of extracts and different types of replicates available. Similarly, under microservices architecture, you have different types of extracts and different types of replicates available. So what are different types of extracts available in Goldengate environment? So there are two types of extracts in Oracle Goldengate. One is integrated extract and second is classic extract. So classic extract is available since beginning of Oracle Goldengate. Classic extract has been deprecated for Oracle database from 18C onwards. Integrated extract was introduced in 11.204 Goldengate, and for minimum version to use integrated extract is 11.203. So if you want to use integrated extract, your database version should be 11.203 minimum and Goldengate version should be 11.204. Then only you can use integrated extract. Now, in fact, with multi-tenant architecture, which we have in Oracle now, pluggable and container one, you can only use integrated extract to capture the data. If you classic extract couldn't be used to capture the data. Now, what are different types of replicates available? Different types of replicates are non-integrated or classic replicate, integrated replicate, coordinated replicate, and parallel replicate, which is further classified into parallel non-integrated and parallel integrated replicate. So these are the four types of replicates available. So again, classic or non-integrated replicate is available since beginning of Goldengate. It is still supported, and for non-Oracle databases, most of the non-Oracle databases still support classic replicate. So integrated replicate is only supported with Oracle database. Integrated extract or integrated replicate is not supported with non-Oracle database. So still you have to use classic extract or classic replicate for any non-Oracle database. So classic replicate is available since beginning of Oracle Goldengate, and it is still available. It is being used. Integrated replicate is available since integrated replicate was introduced in Goldengate version 12.1 and database 12c. So for using integrated replicate, your Goldengate version should be 12.1 or greater. If it is less, it won't be. If it is less than 12.1, it won't work at all. Coordinated replicate was introduced in Goldengate version 12.2. So coordinated replicate was introduced in Goldengate version 12.2. So it is basically a mean to improve the performance of classic replicate. So coordinated replicate was introduced in Goldengate version 12.2, and it is a mean to improve the performance of classic replicate. So multiple threads runs in coordinated replicate. Now from Goldengate version 12.3, a definition of replicate, new definition of replicate has been introduced. A new variant called as parallel replicate was introduced. So parallel replicate, as the name suggests, it parallelizes the replication process. So there are two types of replicates, parallel replicates. One is parallel non-integrated replicate and second is parallel integrated replicate. So basically the above replicates you see like classic non-integrated or classic replicate or integrated replicate. So they are like non-parallel non-integrated replicate and non-parallel integrated replicate. Now same has been also introduced in parallel replicate. So parallel, there are two types of parallel replicate. One is parallel non-integrated replicate and parallel integrated replicate. So integrated replicate in parallel mode called as parallel integrated replicate, and non-integrated replicate in parallel mode is called as parallel non-integrated replicate. So for using parallel non-integrated replicate, the database version minimum should be 12.1 and Goldengate version should be 12.3. So if your database version is 12.1 and Goldengate version is 12.3, then only you can use parallel non-integrated replicate. So if your database version is 12.1 and Goldengate version is 12.3, can you use this parallel non-integrated replicate? No. The reason being minimum Goldengate version should be 12.3. Or if you have Goldengate version 12.3 and database version is 11.2, will it work? No. So minimum requirement is DB version 12.1 and Goldengate version 12.3. Then you have parallel integrated replicate. So for using parallel integrated replicate, the minimum database version should be 12.2 and Goldengate version should be 12.3. So if it is database version is less than 12.2, it won't work. If it is 18C, 19C, it will work. So different types of extract and replicate means there are different types of extracts and replicates are integrated extract and classic extract. Different types of replicates are non-integrated replicate, integrated replicate, coordinated replicate, and parallel replicate. And again in parallel, you have two types of replicates, parallel non-integrated and parallel integrated replicate. Okay, so under classic architecture, you have classic extract or integrated extract. Similarly, you have non-integrated replicate, integrated replicate, coordinated replicate, and parallel replicate. Okay? Any questions so far?
Like which one we have to use, sir? Like or use case, how we can use this?
You mean extract replicate?
Yeah, like you told, there are two types of extract. Which one we have to use, and which one, which replicate we have to use?
Okay. So the answer to that question, anyways, we'll be discussing about during our practical session. But the thing is, the answer to your question is, I always suggest one thing, go with the latest supported thing. So if integrated extract is supported, go with integrated extract. So nowadays, most of the implementations, if it is Oracle database, it happens on integrated extract, provided it is supported with your Goldengate version and database version. So as long as it is supported, go with integrated one. Because integrated extract is faster than classic extract. Along with that, the load on the database, we discussed about impact part, right, earlier. I was discussing high performance improvement with low impact. So impact on the source database when you use integrated extract is much lesser than classic. Similarly for replicate as well, again I would repeat, go with the latest supported one, like parallel replicate if it is supported in your environment. Because parallel replicate is almost 5 times faster than its contemporary replicates. Or use integrated replicate if you want to use. If you can. For non-Oracle database, you don't have any option. You only have option of using classic extract or classic replicate. Parallel replicate is also okay. Another thing is with Goldengate 21C, not until 19C, but until 21C. This parallel replicate support has also been introduced in 21C, Goldengate version 21C, for non-Oracle databases as well. So right now, like integrated replicate, coordinated or parallel replicates are available only with Oracle database. Coordinated, I'm not sure if it is supported for non-Oracle. I haven't used coordinated for any non-Oracle databases. I don't think it is supported. I don't recall, but means in my opinion, it is not supported because I haven't used it. That could be another possibility. So I haven't used coordinated replicate in any non-Oracle database. But for Oracle, it is supported. So you can use at either of the three. Recommended is go with the latest one, parallel replicate, or go with integrated replicate. So we'll be doing the configuration of Goldengate on integrated one. We'll be discussing about parallel replicate. We'll be discussing all the things. Okay. So now let us discuss about how Oracle Goldengate architecture works. So Goldengate is a product which replicates the data from source to target. So on source, you have Oracle or any non-Oracle database. So source database can be Oracle or any non-Oracle database. Similarly, your target database can be Oracle or any non-Oracle database. Okay, now each database has its own transaction logs. In case of Oracle, these transaction logs are called as redo logs or backup of redo logs, which are called as archive logs. In case of other database, it is called as transaction logs. Now, whatever changes are being done at database level, like any insert, update, delete, or any DDL transactions, those transactions get recorded into transaction logs. Now, remember one thing, your transaction logs contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions. Your transaction logs contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions. So Goldengate capture process. So guys, remember one thing here. Goldengate capture process, when we say, it also means extract. So capture and extract keywords are used interchangeably. So whenever I am mentioning that capture process, it means extract. Similarly, replicate process does the delivery to the database. So whenever a delivery name comes, that means it's a replicate process we are talking about. So don't get confused. So capture process is, so extract process is also referred as capture because it is the capture mechanism. Replicate process is also called as delivery process because it's a delivery mechanism to the target database. Okay, so a transaction logs contains committed as well as uncommitted transaction. So you configure Goldengate capture or extract process which reads the data from the transaction logs in sequential manner and capture only committed transactions. So capture process reads the transaction logs in sequential manner and captures only committed transactions. Once the transactions are captured by the extract process, it writes them to the trail file on local machine, which are called as local trail file. So capture process captures the changes from the source database and writes them to the local machine, because whatever capture process captures, it has to store that data somewhere, and that storage is called as trail files. So trail files are binary format files which reside on the operating system and consume your hard disk memory. So capture process captures the data from the transaction logs and writes them to the local trail file on local machine. Once the data is available into local trail file, Goldengate data pump process reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes it to trail file on target machine, which are called as remote trail file. So capture process captures the data, reading the transaction logs in sequential manner, and captures only committed transaction, writes them to the local trail file on local machine. Once the data is available into local trail file, Goldengate data pump process reads the data out of your local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes them to trail file on target, which are called as remote trail file. So data pump reads the data from local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes it to remote trail file. Once the data becomes available into remote trail, Goldengate delivery or replicate process reads the data out of your remote trail and apply it to target database. Guys, this architecture, though it seems very easy, but it is really very important. Whenever you have to configure Goldengate, set up Goldengate, troubleshoot Goldengate, any issues you face in Goldengate, just follow this architecture and you will be good. Any question or anything you have in Goldengate, it comes or it can get resolved using this architecture. Okay, so I again repeat, you configure Goldengate capture process which reads the data, which reads the transaction logs in sequential manner. It reads the transaction logs in sequential manner and captures only committed transactions. Once the transactions are captured, it writes them to trail file on local machine, which are called as local trail file. Once the data becomes available into local trail file, data pump process reads the data out of your local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes it to remote trail on the target machine. Once the data becomes available into remote trail, the Goldengate delivery process reads the data out of your remote trail and apply it to target database. Okay, so these are the processes, three processes involved in Oracle Goldengate environment: capture, pump, and delivery. As I mentioned, capture process is also called as extract, delivery process is also called as replicate. So each process, if you see over here, there are three processes involved: capture, pump, and delivery. Each process in Goldengate has a source to read from and a target to write to. So what is the source of this extract process? The source of the extract process is transaction logs of the database. Target is local trail. What is the source of pump process? The source of pump process is local trail and target is remote trail. The source of replicate process is remote trail and target is target database. So each process in Goldengate has a source to read from and a target to write to. Another important thing you have to note over here: pump process sends the data over TCP/IP network I mentioned. Remember one thing, this is local trail because it resides on local machine. This is remote trail because it is reside on remote machine. However, remember one thing, pump process does not transfer the trail file over TCP/IP network. It does not transfer the trail file. It transfers the data available in local trail file. It reads the data and then sends that data over TCP/IP network for remote trail to read. Okay? So pump process transfers the data over TCP/IP network, not the trail file. So Goldengate works in bi-directional. So this is unidirectional environment. So unidirectional means you have source database and target database. So data, whatever changes are happening on source, they will be replicating to target. Now you have bi-directional configuration as well. So Goldengate supports your bi-directional configuration as well. So what do we mean by bi-directional? So bidirectional Goldengate means both the sites will act as source and both the sites will act as target. So suppose it was site A, this is site A and this is site B. So now in unidirectional you are replicating the data from site A to site B. Now in bidirectional what will happen? Both the sites application can be connected to both the sites. So whatever transaction happens on site A, it will be replicated to site B. Similarly, whatever transactions happens on site B, it will be replicated to site A using Oracle Goldengate. So how does bidirectional configuration works now? So consider, I always say one thing, bidirectional is nothing but two-way unidirectional with some consideration. So consider it like two-way unidirectional right now. Just like you configured Goldengate processes to replicate the data from site A to site B. Similarly now, configure the Goldengate environment to replicate the data from site B to site A. So now you have site B database. Again, it could be Oracle or any non-Oracle database. So as I mentioned, each database has its own transaction logs. So in case of Oracle, these transaction logs are called as redo logs or backup of redo logs, which are called as archive logs. So whatever changes are happening on source database, those changes will be recorded into the transaction logs. Once the changes have been recorded into transaction logs, Goldengate capture process reads the data from the transaction logs, writes them to the local trail on local machine on site B. So these are the local trails, which are different local trails, different set of local trails which are residing on site B. Once the data is available into local trail on site B, data pump process configured on site B will send the data over TCP/IP network to site A and write it to remote trail on site A. Once the data is available on site A remote trail, the replicate process configured over there will read the data and apply it to site A data. Now, Selvin has a question: is pump process mandatory to configure Goldengate? So guys, we are going to discuss about that part later on during as and when we go on. Okay. So that is not the question to answer right now, Selvin. I'll be answering that later. The answer to your question is it is optional, but why and how we'll discuss in detail. So let me again walk you through the architecture step by step. Capture process reads the transaction logs in reads the transaction logs in sequential manner and captures only committed transactions. Once the transactions are captured, it writes them to the local trail file on local machine. Once the data is available into local trail, data pump process reads the data out of local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network and writes it to remote trail on target machine. Once the data is available into remote trail, the Goldengate delivery process will apply it to target database. Okay, so these are the processes involved in Oracle Goldengate environment. These are the processes involved in Oracle Goldengate environment. This is how the replication flow happens. So same thing in bidirectional, your delivery process, local trail, remote trail pump process and capture process will be there. Now we were discussing about your integrated extract, right? Okay. Now there is a question I see. What is the difference between integrated? What do you mean by integrated? I didn't answer at that time because that was supposed to come now. So we see that the capture process here, as I mentioned, it reads your transaction logs in sequential manner and captures only committed transactions. So when the capture process establishes the connectivity directly with the database and it reads the transaction logs on its own, it is called as classic extract. So the classic extract basically is establishing its own session at the database level. It is a classic extract is external to the database. So what it is doing, it is establishing a connection and then reading the transaction logs in sequential manner. Now you have integrated extract introduced as well, integrated capture. So what is integrated capture? How does integrated capture works? Let me tell you. And what is the difference between integrated and classic capture? So integrated capture, how it works is you have source database over here. Now each database has its own. So remember one thing, as I mentioned, integrated capture works only with redo logs or only with Oracle databases. Integrated extract only works with Oracle database. So you have redo logs. In redo logs, a backup of redo logs, which are called as archive logs. So what happens is, in integrated capture, you register your extract to the database. As soon as you register your extract to the database, a log miner build happens. Log miner gets built at the database level. You'll see, I'll show all these things to you practically. So what is log miner? So log miner is a copy of your redo logs or archive logs. So whatever changes are getting returned into your redo logs or archive logs, a copy of those changes gets returned into your log miner database. Now log miner then passes on the changes needed by the extract process in form of LCR. LCR stands for logical change records. So whatever changes are needed by extract process, those changes are passed on to extract process in form of LCR. And once extract process receives those changes, it writes them to the local trail file. So I again repeat, how does integrated extract works is, as soon as you configure the process, a log miner build happens upon registration. Now whatever changes are happening into the database, they get written into your redo logs or archive logs. Now the copy of those changes gets written into log miner database as well. Now log miner, you may know, log miner is used to mine the archive log. So same thing. So log miner, then the copy of those changes gets written into log miner. Now once the copy is written, log miner then passes on the changes to the extract process in form of LCRs. LCR stands for logical change records. So the work which was earlier done by capture process here, that work is done by log miner. So log miner is passing on whatever is needed by extract process. So now the extract process establishes the connectivity with the database, but the extraction part is means internally it is not doing or reading any archive log. Whatever changes are needed by extract process, this log miner process passes on those changes to extract process in form of LCRs. Once extract process read those changes, it passes them to the local trail file. Okay. Now my question to you is, I mentioned to you that integrated extract performance is faster than classic extract, right? However, when you see this architecture, you see that the capture process here is establishing connectivity with the database directly and able to capture. However, here you have one more layer in between of log miner, right? So how come integrated extract performance is faster than classic? Because integrated extract has one more layer of log miner in between. So how can the performance of integrated extract is faster than classic? Guys, mind you, means I have seen that personally. I'm not going by Oracle words. I have tested it personally. When you set up integrated extract and classic extract in same type of configuration at the same time, integrated extract is almost 4 to 5 times faster than classic one. Like I did lot of transactions and I was able to find, or I was able to confirm that, like when I was doing with classic extract was capturing only 4,000 transactions per second. Integrated extract was able to capture around 15,000 transactions per second. So I was able to do that. So my question to you is, can anyone answer this for me? Classic extract is, there is no layer in between of the two, but in integrated one there is one more log miner utility in between. How come the performance of integrated extract be faster than classic one? Would anyone like to answer?
I try it because I'm thinking the classic architecture extract process is trying to establish the connection every time to pull the data. Now the log miner is already having a connection and it is sending the data. The logins or the connections from the classic architecture of extract to the database is deprecated.
So you are somewhat correct, Syed. You are close. So absolutely, like what you mention is correct, but I would like to add more to it, Syed. So you are absolutely correct. So whatever you have mentioned, that's correct. But another point here is, like, we have to understand one thing. As I mentioned earlier, Goldengate is a product which contains, which is external to the database, right? So same with capture as well. It is a tool which is external to the database. Now the thing is, the capture process has to read your transaction logs in sequential manner, and then it captures the data. Okay. However, here log miner has all the changes, and whatever changes are needed by the extract process, log miner is passing on those changes to the extract process. Now because log miner is a tool which is internal to the database, hence it becomes easier, and hence it becomes faster for log miner to process those change, filter those change, and pass on those change to the extract process what is needed. Another important thing, let me tell you is, let me open notepad. Now suppose your database contains 100 schemas. Your database contains 1000 tables. Okay. Now, and your extract process, you have mentioned that you want to configure the data of only two tables like DEPT11 and EMP11. Okay, now your redo log will contain data of, like, consider example 10,000 records for sys and system, then 100,000 records for other tables, and then there are 5 records for EMP11, then there are again 1,000 records for sys system, then you have 2 records for DEPT11. Now what happens is, as I mentioned to you earlier, classic extract reads the transaction logs in sequential manner. It reads the transaction logs in sequential. So if it is classic extract, what it will do is it first has to read these 10,000 transactions of system. Then it will read your 100,000 transactions, whatever are there. Then it will find this 5 records, and then it will capture. And then again it has to read these transactions which are not needed, but then again it will find 2 records and then it will capture them. So because capture process is external to the database, the work takes time. However, in integrated mode, your log miner is doing this task. So log miner will do all the filtration or everything whatever is needed by the extract process, and will send these 5 records data and these 2 records data to the extract process, which extract will then capture and writes to local trail, and then data pump will write to remote trail and replicate will apply. So what is happening over here is extract process is receiving the changes from log miner. So it is not establishing the connectivity directly with the database, though you will find that when you create the extract process, integrated extract, there are 4 processes which are created internally, but that are for log miner. So the reason for extract process to be faster is it is tightly coupled with the database, and extract process doesn't read the transaction log. It's the log miner which does that task for you, and log miner passes on the changes to the extract process in form of LCR. So log miner is internal to the database. You will see when we configure Goldengate, like you will see log miner build will happen, and it is internal to the database. Okay, so now how does integrated capture works? Now I said that integrated extract is faster than classic one. How come integrated extract is faster? Another question is answered for you. So internally, if you see, when you configure integrated extract, what happens is 4 processes are there which works in this way. First is reader, second is preparer, third is builder, fourth is capture. This is just for knowledge, guys, nothing else. When we configure this, these things doesn't come into picture, but I'm letting you know about these, so for your knowledge purpose, so that you know what happens internally when integrated extract is configured. So when integrated extract is configured, you have 4 processes which works in integrated extract. First is reader. Reader process reads the data. Preparer process prepares the data. Builder process builds the data in form of LCRs, and then capture process sends it to extract process. So these are the 4 internal processes which are involved in integrated capture. Reader process, as the name suggests, it reads the data. Preparer process, it prepares your database it prepares that data, whatever has been read, it prepares that data. Builder process builds the data for LCR, logical change records, and capture process then sends those LCRs to extract process. Extract process then capture those and writes them to local trail file. Okay, so this is how your integrated capture architecture looks like. Okay, any question on this? Guys, most of your question related to integrated capture, don't worry, will be answered once we do the setup. So this is just the theoretical part. Now we'll move to the installation and other things now. But prior to that, I want to ensure that, yeah, you are good, whatever we have discussed. Okay. So let us now move forward and let us now discuss about installation of Oracle Goldengate. So before you move to the installation of Oracle Goldengate, you have to check the certification metrics to download the correct version which is certified with your platform and database. So we are going to use the VMs which I have shared with you over email. I'll go through the steps of setting up again. Those are also available in the video as well, which I have shared, but again I'll go through that. But so these are the two virtual boxes which have been shared with you, Gate 1, and you have to clone it to Gate 2. Okay, so we are going to install Goldengate on these virtual boxes, and same have been shared with you. If you have your own machine, you are welcome to use that as well instead of these virtual boxes. Now when you proceed to download Oracle Goldengate binaries, you have to keep in mind few things. What are those? First of all, because you have to first of all ensure that the version you are downloading, like 21C is the latest version or 19C, which one you should choose, or is 19C supported. So basically you have to ensure that the database and platform you are going to use, it is supported by the version, it is supported by the certification matrix. So ensure that, make it a habit to check a certification matrix prior to download Oracle Goldengate. So before you download Oracle Goldengate, note few things. First is you have to note down the platform for which you want to use Oracle Goldengate for, then database for which you want to use Oracle Goldengate for, and DB version you can use, database type and platform version. So you have to do it on both source as well as target. So on source, note down the platform and database type and version. Similarly on target as well, note down the platform and database type and version. Note these things down. Okay, so in our case, in these virtual boxes, so guys, remember one thing, your source platform can be different, target platform can be different, gold source, database type and version can be different as well. Goldengate can replicate the data without any issue. So in our case, on Gate 1, let us check the platform we have. So I'm logging onto these virtual boxes. Remember the password of these virtual boxes of all user, like Oracle user, is welcome one in small case. The size is coming as, how can I increase the size? Oops. System preferences. I'm just checking how can I increase the size of this virtual box. I'm not able to see it. Why? Anyone has any idea like how can I increase this?
Yeah, maybe you would want to run the guest edition so that you get a full screen next time when you reboot the machine.
So should I shut it down and run the guest edition?
No, 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 directly you can run it from here.
Where I can,
Uh, there has to be a screen above the screen
yeah,
where
that's
you
what.
can plug in that CD. I'm not sure what is shared, so I may not be able to see that.
Okay, just a second.
This conference will now be recorded.
So um, before running the uh, before you decide to install, you need to download the binaries, and to download the binaries, you need to check the platform. So do you have -a? So we have on this virtual box, we are using Linux Enterprise Linux 6 is our version. So we'll note that down. So our platform is EL6 Enterprise Linux 6, and database type and version we have on this is Oracle DB 12.2. Same thing we have on other Ggate 2 as well, because it has been cloned, so we have same thing. So we have noted this down. Once you have noted this down, what you will do is you will go ahead and check the certification metric of Oracle Goldengate. So how do you check the certification metrics of Oracle Goldengate? So for checking the certification metrics, Goldengate is a Fusion middleware product. So Oracle Fusion middleware certification metrics you can search for. So Goldengate is a Fusion middleware product. So when you click on it, when you go to the certification metrics, you will see that like 21C is also available. So you can check 21C certification metrics, or you can see 19C certification metrics. Now this training we are going to do 19C right now, because 21C is yet not completely tested, or it has few stuff to be tested out. So we'll do this training on 19C. Going forward, once it is tested out completely, I'll upgrade the course to 21C. So we'll select the certification metrics of 19C, but if, say for example, in future if you have to upgrade to 21C Goldengate, so what you will be doing is you will be checking the certification. You have to check certification metrics first of all to confirm whether that version is supported or not. Almost all the means as of now, as we talk today, most of the versions of Oracle Goldengate are on 19C or less than 19. Means most of them have upgraded themselves to 19. So open the certification metrics of 19C. If you want to check for 18C, you have 18C available. Similarly, on the same page on this screen, if you go, you will find certification metrics for 12C as well. Going below, you can search for Goldengate. So 12C is there, 12.2 is there, 12.3 is there. In fact, 11G is also there. See, 11G R2 is there. You can check. Similarly, if you want to check certification web metrics for Veridata, you have for Veridata. So whatever product you want to check certification metrics of, you can check that. Okay. Now once you have downloaded the certification metrics, click on Goldengate. Okay. Now you will see that certification metrics shows what all databases and version it supports. Like you can check this 19C supports what all databases, just to let you know. If you want to check the list of databases supported by 19C, you will get the list of the databases over here. Like you can see Amazon RDS for MariaDB is also supported here. Postgres, MySQL, Oracle, all the databases are supported. So what you need to do now, you have to filter out this list. So first of all, we have to select for Oracle database, because ours is Oracle. So we'll deselect all in certification metrics, and we'll select only Oracle database, because this certification metrics is big, so we need to check. Then we'll select the database version is okay. We'll select the processor type over here. So processor type of ours is Linux x86-64. This is our processor type. Select OK. Now when you see this, you see your filtration result now. So you see this. So ours is Oracle Linux 6, right? So Goldengate 19.1 release supports Enterprise Linux 6, and it supports Oracle databases 11.2.04, 12.1, 12.2 and 18C. So ours is 12C, so we are good with that. So we can use and download Oracle Goldengate 19C without any issue. Now my question to you is, why doesn't it support 19C? That means Goldengate 19C does not support Linux. So sorry, Goldengate 19C does not support database 19C. Does that mean that? What do you think? Can anyone answer?
It is based on the OS version. That is why.
Exactly. Perfect answer. So the thing is, if you see, in fact, database 19C, if you check database 19C certification matrix, Oracle database 19C certification matrix, it is not supported on RHEL or Linux 6. For that, you need Oracle Linux Enterprise Linux 7. So that is the reason. So if you have Enterprise Linux 7 or 8, then it is okay. So ours is 6, and for 6, 19.1 is supported, and for these databases, so we can use and download 19. Now let us see how we can download 19c. So once we have identified that your data Goldengate you are going to use 19c, so it is possible that for source your Goldengate could be 19c, target could be different. So you need to select and identify first of all based on certification matrix and check the version. Okay, now once you have identified which version you have to download, so you need to go to OTN for that, or on Google you can type download Oracle Goldengate 19c and you can select this Oracle Goldengate downloads. So when you go to Oracle Goldengate downloads, you will see you have 21c available, you will see you have 19. So if you want to download 21c, you can download 21c from here. If you want to download 19c, you can download 19c from here. So when you go to this screen, that the procedure what I'm telling you remains same for 12c, 11g, 19c, 18c, 21c. They remain same. It just depends what type of version you want to download. Okay. Now, when you go to come to this screen on download, you will find that the binaries of Goldengate are different for different platform and different databases. Like if you see, this is the binary for Oracle Goldengate 19.1.0.0.4 for Oracle on AIX. So this binary is supported for AIX platform. Now there is another binary for AIX for Oracle, but it is microservices binary. So the one which doesn't say microservices, which only says Oracle Goldengate, that means it's Oracle Goldengate classic binary. And the one which says microservices, it is microservices architecture binary. So binaries of microservices and classic architectures are different. So for this session, we are going to use classic architecture binary. So we have to download Oracle Goldengate 19.1 for Oracle on Linux. You see, this is for Windows. We need to search for Linux. So you see that binaries are different for each platform as well. Like for Solaris, it is here. Similarly, for databases as well. If you go below, for Teradata, these are the binaries. For MySQL, these are the binaries. So you will find that different binaries are there for different platforms and different versions as well. So I don't see Oracle Goldengate binary 19c over here for Linux x86-64. It is for Teradata, but for Oracle it's not there. Why? From where I can download the binary? If you are not able to find your binary over here, you can search for the binary on edelivery.oracle.com. Sign in. Okay. Now here you can search for Oracle Goldengate 19c. So you can either download it from OTN, Oracle Technology Network, or you can download it from edelivery.oracle.com. What has happened? Oracle Goldengate 19C. Okay, now you got it. So do you see? Uh, you can find your Oracle Goldengate 19.1 over here. Select it. Okay, I have added it to cart. Go to your cart. Continue. So here you will find for which platform you want to download it for. So you can select here Linux x86 64. So once you have that, so Oracle Goldengate 19C, you have to select the platform over here, size it is giving you, and you can continue to download if you want to download it. Select the license agreement and then you can continue to download. So once you select, it will get downloaded. So on these VMs, what I have shared with you, Goldengate is already downloaded. It's not installed, but the binaries are kept under /home/Oracle/softwares. So here you will find, so on both Ggate 1 and Ggate 2, Ggate 1 is there, Ggate 2 when you clone it, so you will find the binaries. So just to let you know guys, these I'll share the training guidelines and other stuff later on. Let us continue with installation and then we'll discuss about that. Okay, so on these VMs, the location where softwares are present is /home/Oracle/software. Under that you will find all binaries related to classic architecture binaries, microservices 19C binaries are there, and Veridata binaries are also there. So we'll go to this folder, classic binaries, cdogg_classic 19C binaries. Okay, now here you will find that this folder is unzipped. Okay, this is zipped, so you need to unzip it. So unzip it. Installation is pretty simple. Only thing you have to keep in mind is few things are there, like as I told you, certification metric, then where to download, which version to download, because I have seen many people, like I'll tell you one thing, one instance. Like there was one Goldengate administrator who was hired for one of the project I was working as a consultant, and my contract was expiring. So what they did was they wanted to hire someone full time. So they hired someone full time. Now the thing is, he installed Oracle Goldengate, I think 12.3 at that time, which was not supported for our environment. Though later on we were able to identify the reason and everything. Like not we, means I was not involved that activity. Otherwise I would have asked to check the certification metrics first of all. But among the team, they were able to identify that 12.3 is not supported. And then after 2 days, they raised SR with Oracle saying that this 12.3 they didn't means it is not supporting why, and it is the latest version they want to use. So Oracle responded to them what I'm telling you right now. Like they didn't check the certification metric, and it doesn't give very good impression when as a Golden Gate administrator, you are working and you do these basic stuff wrong. So that's why it is really very important to check the certification matrix so that your first impression always goes right. That's the thing. So when the things goes in process smooth, though things become smooth. Otherwise, it's a bumpy ride. So now because you know this, even if you download the wrong version and if it is not supported, you will understand you have downloaded the wrong version. But still, you would have spent your couple of hours or 3 hours to all this stuff, and then you have to clean everything and then again download and do the rework. So to save yourself from all these things, you should check the certification. Another important thing, what you have to note down is before installing. Before installation, you have to do all these tasks. You may be asked to provide the hardware requirements for setting up Golden Gate where you are working as Golden Gate architect or Golden Gate administrator. Then you will be, so hardware requirements include space, CPU needed for Golden Gate, server capabilities. Basically, I should say server capabilities needed. That is what you need. Next thing, what you need is location where you will be installing. And third thing you will be needing is user with which installation needs to be done. Right? These are the three things which you should know prior to installation and which you may be asked. So hardware requirements include space. You need to define how much space you need. You need to define how much space you need for Golden Gate. So mount point you need. So space calculation I'll tell you later on. But just to let you know, say for example you need 100 GB. So ask for 4 times of it, 400 GB, because space you need to forecast the future. Along with that, as per my experience, whatever you ask, they will question and they will bargain you in 60% of projects because see, everything is money, and more space you ask, more money they have to spend. So they will ask more question, why you need it, what is the reason. So you have to ready with your answer. I'll talk about space utilization during when we discuss about design or something. I can tell you now as well. Okay, let me tell you about space. How will you calculate? So say for example, you are asked to you are asked to set up Golden Gate for a particular project, particular database. So what you'll do the space calculation. How? You'll take out archive log generation for last 30 days. And in those last 30 days, take out maximum archive generated in single day. So say for example, someday archive was generated as 1 GB, someday it was generated as 7 GB, someday it was maximum generated as 10 GB. So you'll take out maximum archive generated in single day, like 10 GB. You can do average as well, but I always say take maximum generation in consideration. So take maximum archive generated in a single day. As a forecast, you have to consider today maximum archive generation is 10 GB, but after 2 years, it could be doubled. Projection. So you could multiply it by 2, 20 GB per day into 7. Like for these many days, you want to store the data, 140 GB. Multiply by, I would ask you to multiply by 4. So you will need 560 GB of space for Golden Gate. How I calculated, like for last 30 days, look for maximum archive generation in single day. What was the maximum archive generation in one particular day? 10 GB. Multiply it by 2. Then 7. What is 7? So to multiply by 2, why I did is for future forecasting. So if you think for future forecasting, like in last year the archive generation has increased almost thrice, then multiply it by 6. So based on future forecast you will be doing it. Because see, today if you need 100 GB and if you ask 100 GB, tomorrow if it becomes 110 GB, no one is going to give you space. The forecasting for 2 to 3 to 4 years, you have to do it now. So you will multiply it by 2. Okay, then 7 Why am I multiplying it by 7 is because for 7 days I need to keep the archive, means the trail files code, because Goldengate will capture the data and write to local trail file. So to keep the trail files for 7 days, I'm multiplying it by 7. After 7 days, the trail files could be deleted. Just like your archive log files you delete. You keep them for 5 days, 7 days, 15 days, 30 days, whatever you want. So we are going to keep the trail files for 7 days. Now this is general practice to keep the archive logs for 7 days, but you can discuss it with your business. If they want more based on project requirement, then you may need more space. Okay, so it comes out to 140 GB. Now, because 140 GB is again, it can get filled. So again, I'm multiplying it by 4 to have some cushion in space. So I would request for around 500 or 600 GB. And if I get around 200 GB or 300, I will be happy. If I get complete requested, then again, I will be more than happy. Okay. And if you are asked to justify your calculation, now you may say, if they ask me question and if they ask us to justify this, you can easily justify. You can say that this is the future progression you have done. This is the, again, based on future progression, as per you will need Goldengate to store the logs file. You need Goldengate to store. So projection, if database is increasing, to Goldengate will also be increased. So that's why you are doing it. Okay. Okay. So you will need to provide the space and CPU, how much CPU you need. So Goldengate can work with 8 CPUs as well, 4 CPU or even 2 CPUs as well. So that is okay. You can request for more if you want. Okay, 8 core CPU I mean. Now location where you will be installing. Location where you will be installing Oracle Goldengate. So location you will be installing Oracle Goldengate, you need to identify. So either it can be separate mount point where you are granted this 560 GB, or use any existing location. So I would prefer separate mount point, or anything is okay for me. But yeah, if you think separate mount point is good, then you can create separate mount point like /Goldengate or /GGN. Okay. Then you need to identify the user with which installation needs to be done. So it could be Oracle, or it could be any other user which you want to create. Like you can name it like GG user, GG admin. So if DBAs are going to handle Goldengate environment, then install it via Oracle user. However, Goldengate responsibilities and database responsibilities are going to be segregated. Like your organization is going to hire separate Goldengate administrator. In that case, create a separate OS level user and then use that to install Oracle Goldengate. Okay. So now we'll proceed with the installation of Oracle Goldengate. So we have unzipped Oracle Goldengate on Ggate 1. We have unzipped Oracle Goldengate in Ggate 1.
Sorry, I have a question, Ashish.
Yes, Sylvan, let me complete and then I'll give you a chance to ask question. In the meanwhile, if you have question, you can post in chat window. Okay, now once you have unzipped this binary, go to this location, FBO GGS Linux. It has been unzipped over here. Okay, press enter. Then go to disk 1. Installation is pretty easy now. Then run installer. So when you run installer of Oracle Goldengate, so I'm using Oracle user to install Oracle Goldengate. So Athil is asking, if separate user is used, should that be part of DBA group? Yes. That should be part of O install group, not DBA group. If it is part of DBA group, then it can perform all the activity. So it should be part of O install group. The reason why we are doing this segregation is, as I mentioned, like should you be using same user or different user? The reason why we are using this segregation is, the reason is so that the Golden Gate administrator cannot access the database. Golden Gate administrator only has access to Golden Gate. That is the reason, right? So if it is part of DBA, the whole purpose goes on top. So that this is not what we don't want. Okay. So now once we try to install Oracle Golden Gate using run installer, right? Where that next is. Okay, so once we are on this screen, so it will ask you on this screen, it will ask you select the database for this Oracle Golden Gate installation. That means that for which database you want to use this Oracle Golden Gate 19C for. So Oracle Golden Gate 19C is used for Oracle Golden Gate 19, Oracle database 19C. It supports database 18C, it supports 12C, it supports 11G. So you have to select the correct database what you have over here. The reason being, Oracle Golden Gate uses the libraries of database. So that is why you need to select the correct database. Now remember one thing, from 21C this requirement is no longer there. You have got unified build over there. So you don't need to select this binary, this option if you are using 21C. But in 19C or before, when you install Golden Gate, it asks you which database you want to use this Golden Gate for. So you have to select the correct database. So if your Oracle database is 19C, select 19C. If it is 18C, select 18C. Now because our database is 12C, so we are going to use 12C. Ours is 12.2, right? So we are going to use this 12.2. Click on next. So on the next screen, it will ask you specify a location. Next will come over here. Like you may not be able to see on my screen right now because we are in scaled mode. So it is kind of hidden. So I'm using tab, but when you do it normally, it will give you back or next or cancel option. Okay. Now specify a location to install this Oracle Golden Gate. Now, as I mentioned, you need to identify the location where you want to install this Golden Gate. So we'll install Golden Gate in this location. U01 app Oracle product or cd / U01 app Oracle product. Here I'll create one directory called as OGG _ SRC. Okay, I'm going to create this directory. So guys, with the training you will also receive the activity guides. I'll share the details of where the activity guides are located and everything. I'll share this with you. So you will get activity guides as well with the training. So how we download and install Oracle Golden Gate? There is an activity guide available, which is activity guide 1. In activity guide 1, I have mentioned how do you download and install Oracle Golden Gate. So step by step pictorial guide is there. So when you use Oracle Golden Gate, when you try to download Oracle Golden Gate, it will give you the option. You can select next on the screen. So you will get it like this. So these activity guides, all the details I'll share with you where they are located. Okay. So now what you have to do is you have to go to this what I have done is I have created this location OGG _ SRC on Ggate 1. So OGG _ means Golden Gate on Ggate 1 will be installed in this location. So what we'll do, we'll select this location and provide this location that Golden Gate will be installed over here. Okay, so Golden Gate will be installed in this OGG _ SRC location. Now next is, it is asking us to start the manager and asking for database location and manager port. Now the thing is, when we check the architecture. When we saw the architecture, we discussed about there are three Golden Gate processes. One is capture, second is pump, third is delivery. On top of it, each Golden Gate instance has got a manager process. Each Golden Gate instance contains a manager process. It sits on top of Oracle Golden Gate configuration. So what manager process, as the name suggests, it manages the Oracle Golden Gate environment for you. So manager process runs on a port. It requires a port to run on and ensure that nothing else is running on the port which you have specified. So this is what we get during installation. If you want to start the manager during installation itself, you can tick this box. If you don't want to tick this box, that's okay. But if you tick this box, it's advisable to tick. I'll tell you why. So it selects the database location, like where your Oracle home is. So our Oracle database, Oracle binaries are installed on these virtual boxes. Database is not created. I'll tell you how to create. So database location is this U01 app Oracle product, and we are providing the default port for Oracle Golden Gate, which is 7809. You can choose any port. It's not like you have to choose default port or a particular port number. You can choose any port, but just ensure nothing else is running on that port. You can choose any port like 8000, 8009. We are choosing default port is 7809. Okay, click on next. Click on next. So it will take you to the next screen. Once it takes you to the next screen, okay, it asks you to save the response file. Like this, it will ask you to save the response file. So if you want to do the silent installation, it is possible for you to do the silent installation as well of this. If you don't want to do the silent installation, that's okay. So in some environments, silent installation is not permitted. So if you want to use silent installation, if you want to do silent installation, you can save this response file and edit it accordingly and use this response file. Okay. So I'm going to not save this response file and click on next. Okay, this is save response file. This is back. I'll click on next. Oops. Oh, I cannot see that window, so that's why. So save, then help, then install. I'm just using tab because I also cannot see because of this scaled thing, right? We discussed at the starting. How is it possible to? This is save response file. Then it will go to help. Then it will go to back, and then it will go to install. Okay, now installation has been started. So installation of Oracle Golden Gate won't take much time. You will see within few minutes it will be completed. 2 to 5 minutes. Similarly, you can do the installation on G-Gate 2 as well. So I'll go to welcome one. So here, but I want to show you one thing. So I'll show you the difference between the two. So I'll go to where my binaries are located, /home /Oracle /softwares. So yeah, Silvani, you had a question you can ask in the meanwhile. I'll proceed with the installation over here. I'll unzip it. You can ask your query. You had a question.
Yes, I will just come back to the GD mount size calculation.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to know if it's different if we have a catalog generation coming store on ASM or file system storage. Is the calculation will differ?
No, it will be same. It will be same in any case. So see, amount of archive which will be generated will always remain same wherever you store it, right? Does that answer your question?
Yes, because I thought it would be different if we have a archive generation store on ASM storage and compared to file system.
No, it won't be. It would be same. So on Gate 2, it is getting unzipped. And I also discussed about different options to install Oracle Goldengate. Like, do you have to install Goldengate on both the servers or how it would be? I'll discuss about that. So installation of Oracle Goldengate on Gate 1 is successful. You see this? So if you do ls-lart over here on OGG on Gate 1, on Gate 2 binaries are getting unzipped, so I haven't started. But on Gate 1, if you see, the installation is now successful. So if you go to this location where we have installed, if you do ls-lart, you can see different directories being created. So how do you log into Goldengate? So under Goldengate home, you have got GGSCI. GGSCI, as I mentioned, it stands for Goldengate Software Command Line Interface. So it is command line of Oracle Goldengate classic architecture. So GGSCI, so to check what all Goldengate processes are present over here, you run the command info all. Info all gives you the information about all the processes running in a Goldengate instance. So I see that manager process is there, but it is running. How come? How come this manager process is running? Can anyone answer this for me?
Yeah, while installing, we started we checked the checkboxes, managed to start.
Exactly. So while installing or while starting Oracle Goldengate, we selected the option install. So we selected the option start manager. That's why. So it is running right now over here. Now if I exit from here, I see there are few directories being created over here, like dir dad, dir crd, dir prm, dir rpt, dir pcs. So all these directories in Oracle Goldengate environment are very critical directories. Each directory stores files and data. So like dir prm, this will be more clearer to you when we do the practical. So I'm just giving you a quick overview, but these things will become perfectly clear and remain imbibed in your mind once we do the practical. So dir prm is the directory which stores the parameter file for you. dir rpt is the file which stores the report files of each process. dir pcs tells you about the process status of the relative process status information. So like manager, you saw it's running. So where does GGSE get the information that this manager is running? From this DRPCS. So whenever we do anything on GGSCI, whatever information we get from these files. dir crd stores the credential store. dir dat stores the trail files. So the trail files which we set up in our Oracle Goldengate environment, they get stored in dir dat. Then you have dir wlt, which stores the wallet. Dir chk stores the checkpoint files, which stores the critical files for you. Okay. Similarly, you have here, over here, you have ggserr.log. So ggserr.log is stores the, I call it a alert log of Goldengate, just like you have alert log at database level. Similarly, I call ggserr.log as alert log of Goldengate because it stores the all the error logs and whatever is happening over here. Similarly, over here, you have one directory called as health check. So health check directory, if you want to run Goldengate health check anytime, you can run Goldengate health check if you are facing any performance issues or anything. And if you want to run health check, so Goldengate has provided you the option of running the health check as well. Just like at the Goldengate level, or sorry, at the database level, you run AWR report. Similarly, you can run health check. So it gives you some recommendations as well. So you need to first install it, then run it, and then if you want to uninstall, you can uninstall it because it creates some few objects at the database level. Okay, so this is how your directories look like. Now let me go to ggate2. Okay, on ggate2, what I am doing right now is I have unzipped this folder to this. So go to fbo ggs linux, go to disk1. Now run installer. So now run installer. It will invoke the OUI for you. Okay, now again here, which option will we select? Can anyone tell me? Should I select Oracle Goldengate for Oracle database 19C, 18C or 12C? Which one should I select?
12C, Oracle 12C.
Because we have Oracle database 12C. So guys, one thing I want you to test is like, what happens if you select this 19C? Means when you are practicing, install Oracle Goldengate using this, select this option, Oracle database 19C option, and see what happens. You can uninstall this easily. How to do uninstall is don't remove it. There is a deinstall utility available in if you ever have to deinstall Goldengate. So there is a deinstall folder in deinstall. There is deinstall utility present in deinstall folder under Goldengate home. So if you do go to deinstall folder under Goldengate home, you will find this deinstall.sh. So run this deinstall.sh if anytime you have to deinstall Oracle Goldengate. Okay, so what I want you to check is like, what happens when you have Oracle database 12C but you are downloading 19C. I'll tell you what happens is why you need to select the correct binaries is, the reason being, open terminal. So I'll go to Oracle home, cd/u01/app. We haven't installed database yet. I'll tell you we'll install database. u01 app Oracle product 12.2. Okay, now here we'll go to lib. So what Goldengate does is it uses the database libraries while logging. So libraries of like 19C and 12CR or 18C or 11G are different. Like if you see or talk about this libocci.so.12.1, for 19C database the binaries will be different. They will be 19.1. Similarly, it's same So what happens is Goldengate looks for same binary for the database for which you have installed Goldengate for. If it doesn't matches, it doesn't work. So that's why you need to select the correct binary. So I'll go to Gate2, select Oracle Database 12c, click Next. On the next screen, it will ask you to where you want to install Goldengate. So I'll choose /u01 app Oracle product and ogg_trg. So on source, I created the folder with name ogg_src. On Gate2, I'll use the folder as ogg_trg. You can name it like anything. I'm just naming it for the understanding purpose so that it becomes better for your understanding. Now, when we set up bidirectional configuration later on, you will see we'll use the same folder ogg_trg at that time as well. So it's not like you have to, it means we are just naming it as ogg_trg so that when we set up Goldengate, it becomes easier for our understanding here. There is no naming convention for Goldengate directories. For Goldengate processes, yes, we do follow some naming convention, etc. But for directories, you can choose any name. Okay, and then here, what I will do, I won't start the manager. I won't select start manager option. Okay, now I'll click on install. So it will ask you to save the response file if you want to do that. Okay. If you want to save the response file, you can save and do the silent installation. Click on install. So your installation will proceed now. Your installation will proceed now. So the installation of Oracle Goldengate will be successful now. Should be successful now once it is 100%. So you'll see it prepare the binaries, then copy link, copy the files, then link the binaries, and then do the setup. Now the question comes, how do you install Goldengate in rack environment? So in rack environment, you install Goldengate on ACFS. You can define ACFS, and in ACFS, what happens is there are two options to do that. One is if it's say for example it's 2 node or 3 node rack. So what happens is you will have to do, it is recommended to do the separate installation on each node. Goldengate runs only from one node in rack. Other 2 node will share the binaries. Other option is when you install Goldengate on rack, you install it on shared location. But recommended is you install it on individual node and share the directories, whatever directories we discuss, you share those directories on shared location, shared drive. Okay, so we have installed Goldengate now. Goldengate installation is done. So I'll go to U01 app Oracle product cd ogg_trg. Now here now, if I do ls-lart, over here, so go to ggSCI. When I do info all, I see manager is stopped over here. Why? Because I didn't choose the option to start the manager during installation. So that's why manager is stopped over here. So can I go ahead and start the manager? What do you think? If I do start manager, it says that parameter file does not exist over here. The reason parameter file does not exist is because it is not created. So if you go to Ggate1, if you do view param mgr, you will see that the port information what we gave, it goes inside parameter file of manager. Each process, guys, remember one thing, and this will be more clearer to you again as we move forward during the session. But just to let you know, each process in Goldengate has a manager process. Each process in Goldengate has a parameter file associated to it, and it works according to parameters present in the parameter file. So the port number which we have provided over here, this port number will be used by manager. However, on target, because we didn't choose to start the manager, hence the parameter file is not created. Now if you go to Ggate1 and go to dir prm folder, you will find that mgr.prm is there. See? So from where GGSCA got this information? Basically from this file mgr.prm. Now the thing is, when I try to start manager, it says parameter file does not exist. So let me exit from GGSCA, do ls-lart. In fact, now I see that none of the directories which were created on Ggate1, they are not present over here at all. So these directories like dir dat, dir prm, which is used to store the parameter file, dir rpt, which is used to store report file, etc., is not created. So do I need to create them manually? First of all, why they were not created? The reason why they were not created is because we didn't choose start manager option. So when we choose start manager, automatically it gets created, but when we don't do it, it doesn't get created. So do I need to create them manually now? No. In Goldengate, at GGSCI level, you have the option to create them using command create subdirectories. The command is create subdirs. Subdirs means subdirectories, create subdirectories. So it will show you that parameter file directory is created, report file is created, checkpoint file is created, process status file is created, SQL script file is created, database definition files, data files, trail files. All the files are created, all the directories are created. So if you do ls-lart now, you will find that these directories are present. Right? So how did we do that? Using command create subdirs. Now, can I go ahead and start manager now? What do you think? Can I go ahead and start manager now?
No.
Why?
Because the parameter file does not have the parameters.
Exactly. So we need to create the parameter file now. How do we create the parameter file? Do edit param process name, which is mgr. Provide port and port number on which this manager would run on. So you can give the same port number on both source and target. I am giving the separate port number for source and target. I will run source manager on 7809, target on 7810. They can be run on same port, any port is okay, because these are two different servers. But I'm choosing different port number just to show you for later purpose how these ports are used, so that you don't get confused. Save and close. Okay, now you can go ahead and start manager. Start mgr, do info all, so your manager is running. So your Goldengate installation is now done and successful. Goldengate installation is now done and successful. So now, what are different options to install Oracle Goldengate? Like we installed Goldengate on Ggate1 and Ggate2 separately. Now, what are the different options to install Oracle Goldengate? Where should we install Oracle Goldengate? The question comes, like, is it mandatory to install Goldengate on both Ggate1 and Ggate2 like we did? Is it mandatory? Or you must have heard the term, or you must have heard this term Goldengate Hub recently. So what is that Goldengate Hub? What it does? How it is used? How Goldengate is used? We'll discuss about that. So what are different options to install Oracle Goldengate? So different options to install Oracle Goldengate include install Oracle Goldengate Goldengate on both Gate 1 and Gate 2 for local capture and local apply. This is what we are doing. So here local capture, let me tell you the terms first of all, that will make the understanding better. Okay. So what do we mean by local capture? So there are 4 terms being used: local capture, local apply, remote capture, and remote apply. What is the difference and what does this mean? So local capture means GG extract process resides on same server as database server. So GG extract process is going to capture the data from the database residing on same server where Goldengate is installed. Same way, local apply means GG replicate process reside on same server as database server where it is going to apply the data to. Or I should above say where it is going to extract data from. Okay, so local capture is GG extract process resides on same server as database server where it is going to extract data from. And local apply means GG replicate process reside on same server as database server where it is going to apply data. Remote capture means GG extract process resides on different server as database server where it is going to extract data from. And remote apply means replicate process resides on different server as database server where it is going to apply data to. Is that clear? So local capture means Goldengate extract and database server reside on same machine. They reside on same machine. Local apply means GG replicate and database server are same. Remote capture means GG extract server and database server are different. And remote apply also means GG replicate and GG apply server are different. So what are different options to install Oracle Goldengate? So different options to install Oracle Goldengate include install Goldengate on Gate 1 for local capture and Gate 2 for local apply. This is what we are doing right now in our environment, right? So what we are doing right now is we have installed Goldengate on Gate 1. So we will have local databases on Gate 1 and Gate 2. So on Gate 1, that database on Gate 1 will act as source and the database on Gate 2 will act as target. So we have installed Goldengate on Gate 1. From there we'll extract the data, and on Gate 2 we have installed Goldengate where our replicate will be created and we'll apply the data. That is first option. Second option is install Goldengate on Gate 1, which will capture the data locally from Gate 1 database and apply to Gate 2 database remotely. So in first option, we have 2 Goldengate installations, one on Gate 1 and second on Gate 2. Now second option is install Goldengate on Gate 1 only. So there will only be one Goldengate installation. Now from that server, we can capture the data locally from source database, as well as we can apply the data remotely to the G-Gate2 database. So one Goldengate installation installed on one machine G-Gate1 will serve our purpose to capture the data and apply the data. Okay. Now third option is install Goldengate on G-Gate2, which will capture the data remotely from G-Gate1 DB, right? Because G-Gate2 Goldengate will be remote to G-Gate1. Hence, so what it will do, it will capture the data remotely from G-Gate1 database and apply the data to G-Gate2 database locally. So how many Goldengate installations are going to be there in third option?
One.
Because it is only installed on G-Gate2, and that is serving the purpose of capturing the data from G-Gate1 database, but it is remote. So it will be called as remote capture, but do the local apply. Fourth option is install Goldengate on intermediate server, for example G-Gate3, which will capture the data remotely from G-Gate1 and apply the data remotely on G-Gate2. So in the first option, it is local capture, local apply. In second option, it is local capture, remote apply. In third option, it's remote capture, local apply. In fourth option, what we are trying to achieve is we are trying to do remote capture as well as remote apply. So what we are going to do, we are not going to install Goldengate on G-Gate1 or G-Gate2. Instead of that, we are using, or we are asking for an intermediate server, which is G-Gate3. Now that is going to capture the data remotely from G-Gate1 and apply the data to G-Gate2 remotely. So again, how many installation in fourth option? How many installation do we need in fourth option? One, absolutely one. So this second, third, and fourth option, you can call it as Goldengate hub. What does hub means is you have one central Goldengate which is connecting to one or more source and one or more target. So one installation of Goldengate is serving the purpose of replication for extracting the data from multiple source, one or multiple source database, and applying the data to one or multiple target databases. So second, third, and fourth are hub option, Goldengate hub option. Now fifth option is you install Goldengate on intermediate server, example G-Gate3, which will capture the data remotely from G-Gate1. So now consider a scenario. I'll give you one scenario, like you have got two different clients in two different zones. Okay, now they cannot use same intermediate server, just like you are using in fourth option. So their intermediate server or their servers will reside on different their zones. So you cannot use same intermediate server. So this is what we are doing in fifth option. Consider you have two different clients. So another option is you use intermediate server. You have an intermediate server for G-Gate1. You install Goldengate on that server, which will capture the data remotely from G-Gate1, and install Goldengate on G-Gate2 as well for local apply. So you are doing remote capture in fifth option, but remote capture is done by installing Oracle Goldengate on intermediate server. But for G-Gate2, you are doing local apply by installing Goldengate locally. Is that clear? So in this option, you can consider you have one database server. This is database server. This is Goldengate server. What you are using? You have installed Goldengate over here, which will connect to the database, and then this is G-Gate2, where database and Goldengate both are installed. So Goldengate will send the data over here. So this is this Goldengate is capturing the data from here for Gate 1. But for target, it is sending the data to Gate 2. Here Gate 2 will have its own Goldengate. Okay? Okay. Now last option is, how do I remove this drawing from here? Erase all drawing. Okay. Now, what is sixth last option? So how many Goldengate installation do you think we need in fifth option?
Two.
Two. Exactly 2. Now the sixth option is install Goldengate on Gate 1, which will capture the data locally from Gate 1, but install Goldengate on intermediate server, which will apply the data remotely to Gate 2. So install Goldengate on Gate 1, okay, which is going to capture the data locally from Gate 1. So we are doing local capture, but remote apply by using an intermediate server like Gate 3. Install Goldengate over there and apply the data remotely to Gate 2. So in this case, like you have intermediate server on target, one server on source, intermediate server on target. Goldengate is installed on that, and then you are using Goldengate to do the local capture but remote apply. So how many Goldengate installations are going to do over here? 2. So performance wise, for best performance results, which option do you think is best out of these 6 options? For optimal performance, like minimum lag, which option would be best?
Local capture, local apply.
Absolutely. Local option number 1 for performance efficiency. Option number 1 is best when you do local capture and local apply, because when you do remote capture, in that case, what happens is, in that case, you Goldengate claims, like it is network dependent. So in that case, if network issues comes, there will be lag. Now another question is, for maintenance wise, for easy maintenance, which option do you think is good? First, second, or third? Sorry, first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, or sixth? For maintenance wise, easy to maintain.
Fourth, hub server.
Which one?
One is hub server. Remote capture, remote apply.
So hub server,
No.
absolutely. So you can choose either second, third, or fourth one. That is best option for maintenance purpose, because one Goldengate installation can serve the purpose of multiple Goldengate installation. Any question on this? Anyone? So we'll be discussing during this training local capture and local apply, but all these things will be clearer to you during this session. Everything will be clearer, like how do you perform how will you perform this local capture or remote capture. We'll discuss everything. All these things will be clear to you. Okay, one more thing, let me tell you now. On the intermediate server, if you are installing Goldengate or intermediate server, what thing you need is, if you are installing Goldengate on intermediate server, okay, that is important thing to note for you. Okay, so when installing Goldengate on intermediate server, what do you need? You need an Oracle client over there. You need a Oracle client which can connect to your remote database, because on this server Gate 3, say for example you are going with fourth option. Say for example you are going with fourth option. So fourth option is, you have got Gate 1, you have got Gate 2. Sorry, my drawing is too bad. I mean in real life as well, not only here. And you have intermediate server like Gate 3. So GG is installed on this. Okay, so this is how it is. It Ggate 3 captures the changes from here and apply it to here Ggate 2. So database resides on these servers. Goldengate resides on Ggate 3 intermediate server. So what thing you need on this server on Ggate 3? What all things you need? So you need on Ggate 3, you need normal. Okay, on Ggate 3 you need Oracle client, which can connect to your source database as well as target database. So you will need Oracle client over there. So Oracle client could be any 12c, 19c. So when you do Goldengate installation on this server, Goldengate installation on intermediate server, so you have to select, so it asks for which Goldengate, for which database you want to do this installation for. So at that moment you will provide the client installation details. So whatever the client version is, you will choose that version when you are installing Goldengate on intermediate server. So on intermediate server you will need Oracle client. It could be 12c, 19c, 18c, whatever client you want to choose. And the Goldengate installation, when you do, the option you have to choose is Goldengate installation for Oracle database based on Oracle client version, because on that server then it will use the libraries of Oracle client. Okay, is that clear? Any question on this? So these are the different options to install Goldengate. So you can install Goldengate on Ggate 1 for local capture, on Ggate 2 for local apply. Similarly, you can do remote capture or remote apply as well, whatever you want to. Okay.
Ashish, one quick question.
Yeah, Abdul, tell me.
With the help of GG Hub, are we avoiding any extra licensing cost? Because
okay, so that is very good point what you have put, Abdul. So one of the major thing, again, let me tell you, whatever answer I give related to licensing, it's based on my knowledge, it's based on my understanding, and based on my discussion with Oracle, and these answers should not be taken as final. But just to answer the question, Abdul, when you use Goldengate on a hub, Goldengate licenses are calculated based on your source database course and target database course. So it doesn't calculate it based on the server core where you are installing Goldengate now. You are not going to save any licenses if you are using Goldengate.
how about the storage capacity? Are we saving? Because on the source and target, we are maintaining a couple of storages, right?
So storage wise, but you will need you will need to, now in this case, yes, you can save because your remote and target trail will reside on same server. So definitely you are also saving on space. Absolutely. Yeah, you will need to have everything, file system, everything on your intermediate server, because you will be installing Goldengate on that server. Okay. Okay. So next,
one more question. In case of hub, whether the extract trails and replicate trails are two different things, or they get combined because it's only single Goldengate right now.
In that case, we can combine it, but we'll discuss about that part later on. So I'll answer that question as and when we move along during the session, when we discuss about components part. But the answer to your question is, as of now, those who didn't understand, don't worry, I'll be covering that later. But to answer Harpreet your question, just for your understanding, we can combine. Like in that case, because it will be on same server, so we can use the same. We like if we want to save on space, we can use like same trail file to apply the data to that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now we are going to discuss about setting up of this lab. How do we set up this lab? Okay, so in the next session we are going to discuss about, so we are going to do the session 2 of Oracle Goldengate Classic Architecture session next week, same timing. So next session will be on Saturday 19th Feb and timing will remain same, 7:30 to 10:30 am EST, 6 to 9:30 am CST, 4:30 to 7:30 am PST, and as per Indian Standard Time it remains same, 6:30 to 9 p.m. IST. So in the next session we are going to discuss about prerequisite to set up Oracle Goldengate. We'll discuss about what is supplemental logging and different types of supplemental logging, how process data flow, how to enable extract process, local trail creation, remote trail creation, data pump, and replicate process. So basically we'll be discussing about how to set up a replication. Next would be, now we are going to discuss, so the link to join the next session will be shared 24 hours to 48 hours before the session. Now what are the steps you have to do prior to next session is, you have to set up the lab, which I'll show you how to set up the lab now. You have to create the database, you have to create application schemas, and you have to install Oracle Goldengate on G-Gate 1 and G-Gate 2. So these are the tasks assigned to you for next session. So I'll show you now how to set up the lab, etc. Okay, so we'll discuss about that now. So for the training guidelines now, you must have received few emails from me. So first email you must have received would be lab setup kit email. You must have received this lab setup kit email from me. So the email has come from my email ID ashishagarwal@gmail.com. So if you don't see it, just search for this email with this subject, like lab setup kit, VMs for practice. So in this email, you will find the link to download the VirtualBox image. So you need to click on this link to download the VirtualBox. So what you have to do is, the steps are mentioned: download G-Gate 1, download virtualbox.exe file. There is a step-by-step document for setting a VirtualBox image and clone it. And there is a video how you can set up the lab for training. So let me open
Ashish, it include your recorded videos also in this drive?
I'll discuss about that as well. So I'm first of all talking about this training part. Okay. So when you click on this link, you will find that this link of lab setup kit, you will find that there are few things like ggate1.ova. Download this ggate1.ova. Also you can download this VirtualBox image, or you can download this VirtualBox software from virtualbox.org. You can download the latest version from there. Here you have 6.0.20. However, I downloaded it I think 2 days back. So the latest version which is available is 6.1 dot something. 6.1.32 is available. So you can download it from virtualbox.org as well. Okay, so download it. Then there is a video as well. If you want to go through that video, go through it. Anyways, I'll quickly guide you through, but it's a 30 minutes video which you can watch how to set it up, and there is also a pictorial guide on how to set this VirtualBox as well. Okay, now what you have to do is, you have to download this ggate1.ova. Once you download this ggate1.ova, I'll now describe how do you set up this VirtualBox. Apart from that, you have also received an email where the enrollment training course confirmation. You have got enrollment training course confirmation email. So go through that email, like whatever courses you have enrolled for, you will find the details of those courses present over there. Like if you have enrolled for one course, you will find one course. If you have enrolled for all three courses, you will find all three course details. If any discrepancy is there, you can reply back to me. So these are the two emails which you must have received. One is lab setup kit and second is training enrollment confirmation. Okay, now the recording of today's session will be uploaded in a drive. This drive, you can it will be shared with you. It's not shared with you yet, but it will be shared with you within next 24 hours. So what you can do, you can log into your drive.google.com based on the Gmail ID you shared during your registration. On that, go to drive.google.com and on left click on shared with me. Once you click on shared with me, you will find a folder called as latest classic weekend 22_02 2202 classic. So this is the folder name. So 2202 means year and month. So 2022 February. So this is the latest weekend classic batch, which recording you will do. So this folder is not shared with you. Within 24 hours, you will also receive the email notification. I'll also share it with you over WhatsApp. And once you do that, on the left, click on shared with me on drive.google.com. You will find this folder. All the recordings, recaps, etc. will be available in this folder. Okay, so let me quickly recap today's session and then I'll walk you through to setting up of lab. So in today's session, so what we discussed is, we discussed about introduction to Oracle Goldengate. What is Oracle Goldengate? Then we discussed about different types of architectures available. Then we discussed about what is Goldengate Veridata. Veridata is a separate license product. Then we discussed about why Oracle Goldengate, what are different types of extract processes and replicate processes available. Next, we discussed about like Oracle Goldengate architecture, how data flow in Goldengate. Then we discussed about certification metrics, how do we proceed with certification metrics, and then we discussed about like the location of downloading the certification metrics is present over here. And then we discussed about like different options to install Goldengate, like GUI and silent installation. And then we discussed about what are different processes involved in Goldengate replication, like capture, pump, and delivery. So we installed Goldengate in these locations. And now we'll discuss about setting up of lab, and then we discussed about setting up of creating databases. So we'll do that. So post session assignment include complete lab setup kit for both virtual boxes, create the database instances on both nodes, install Goldengate on Ggate 1 and Ggate 2. Okay, so if you want to drop off, you can, and if you want to continue, you can. I don't have any issues. So next session, guys, will be there next week, same timing. And now I'm going to discuss about this lab setup kit setup. So as I mentioned, you download that Ggate1.ova and Oracle VirtualBox from that drive link. You can download that Oracle VirtualBox, this Oracle VM VirtualBox from virtualbox.org for the latest version. Okay, once you have downloaded it, you need to import the VirtualBox image. How do you import the VirtualBox? Click on File, click on Import Appliances. Okay, then over here, File, select the location where you have downloaded the Ggate1.ova. So my Ggate1.ova is present in D drive. Under D drive, we have lab setup kit. So select the Ggate1.ova. Okay, click on next. Then here you can select option like generate new MAC address if you want to do. Select the option generate new MAC address and then click on import. Your import will happen. So same steps are also mentioned in step-by-step pictorial guide what I mentioned. In this lab setup kit, there is, and in this video as well, and along with that, this step-by-step guide as well. So in this also, I have mentioned this these steps like how to import. Once you have imported it, once the VM Gate1 is imported, next step is to clone it. You need to clone it. So to clone it, remember, you need to have your VM down. Your Gate1 cannot be running. You cannot import, because importing the Gate1 first of all will take around 15 to 20 minutes. Once it is done, it will be in shutdown mode. So right click on it and click on clone. Once you clone it, let me go below. So once you clone it, change the name over here as Gate2. Change the name, you will get this window. Change the name over here as Gate2. Okay. Then select the path where you want to install this Gate2. So for me, what I have done is I have installed Gate1 in C drive and Gate2 in D drive. So just in case if you don't have space in C drive or in any drive where it is showing, you can change the drive path over here. And then ensure that you select this option, generate new MAC address for Gate2. Okay, and then select full clone option. In the next screen, select full clone option and then click on clone. Your cloning will start. Once you clone, you will get both the machines in powered off mode. Once you get both the machines in powered off mode, you can now update the host name in Gate2. How do you do that? Remember, the password of each user, root Oracle user, is welcome1. So you need to update the host name because you have cloned it. So by default it is Gate1. So let me do that as well in Gate2. This is Gate1, this is Gate2. Otherwise it will show you like Gate1 over here. So you need to do it using root user, remember. So su-root welcome1. So do vi vi/etc/sysconfig/network. So vi/etc/sysconfig/network. So here change the host name on Gate2 only to Gate2. Gate2, save it and close it. Remember, you can only do it via root. Once you have done that, then you need to restart your machine, because if you want to make those changes to be effective, you need to restart it. How can you restart it? You can run init6 to restart it. Okay, so when you do init6, the machine will restart and your new name will be effective. So now your Gate1 and Gate2 will be ready. So next step is, once it is ready, next step is you need to change the host name. Sorry, you need to edit the /etc/host file to update with the correct IP address. So do ifconfig. So check ifconfig and see what IP address you have over here. So if you see, you will have ETH2 and ETH3 present over here. So select any IP out of these two. You can either use this 192.168.56.105 or 106. Anything is okay. So use your, now login as root again, and in vi/etc/host file, update the IP address of Gate1 as 105. And for Gate2 IP address, you need to log into Gate2 and check the IP address from Gate2. So ensure that the file of /etc/host on the content of /etc/host should be same on both Gate1 as well as Gate2. So let us wait for our Gate to start. So once etc host is also done, our virtual boxes is ready. So next option would be to create the database. So binaries are already installed. So next we'll create them. So let me quickly update the /etc/host file. Okay, so now I'll check ifconfig of Gate2. So the Gate2 IP address is 108, 107 or 108. You can choose any of the two. Okay, don't worry about ETH2 or ETH3. It could be any ETH number. Just check the IP address. It could be 107 or 108. So we'll use 107 for Gate2. You can choose any. It's not like you cannot. So save it and close it. Now you can try to ping Gate2 from Gate1. It is successful. Similarly on Gate, I will now copy cat/etc/host. I'll copy the content of this file and paste it over Gate2. su-wl/civv1 bi/etc/host. Host. Okay, so so you can try to ping Gate1 as well from Gate2. If it is successful, everything is fine. Yeah, it is successful. So our VMs are set up. So next step is we'll create the database. So how do we create the database? I'll do sudo to Oracle. Once I do sudo to Oracle, I'll do cd/u01/u01 app Oracle product 12.2 and bin. Here I'll run dbc over here. So this is Gate2. Similarly, I can go to same location on Gate1 as well. Okay, here I'll also run dbc. So we need to create the databases over here. So on Gate1, we are going to do multi-tenant architecture. So on Gate1, we are going to create the database. Container database will be OGG-DB1 and pluggable database will be PDB1. On Gate2, we'll create pluggable database as PDB2, container database as OGG-DB2. So this is Gate2. So I'll create the database. So I'll create the database over here. So global database name I'll select as OGG DB2 because it's Gate2. So password is welcome1, and pluggable database name we'll use as PDB2 over. Click on next. It will validate for free space. So admin password does not match. Click on yes, no issues. So this is we are doing on Gate 2. Okay. If you want to save this response file, you can do that. Otherwise, click on next. So your OGG DB2 database creation is in progress. Similarly, on Gate 1, create database. Oops. Okay. So we'll select here the database name. Oops. Okay. So I'll select the database name as OGG DB1 over here. Password will be welcome1. COME1. Pluggable database name will be PDB1. If you don't want to create pluggable database, then deselect this option. But I would recommend you to do that. Click on yes. And next, then we'll change the TNS names and then we are done for today. So Gate 2 is happening. Gate 1, we are verifying the space. We don't want to save the response file. Oops, wait, I did back. Actually, due to scaled mode, I am unable to see. And I'm not getting this. That's why I am using tab. Okay. So now it's done progress. So Gate 1 and Gate 2 databases are now in progress. So they will be done. It takes some time to create. So next step, what we need to do is one more thing. What we need to do is go to your Oracle home /network/admin /space ora env OGGDB2. Okay. Go to Oracle home /networks or cd $ Oracle home /network /admin vi-tns names.ora. So on Gate 2, Gate 1 tns names.ora would be fine. On Gate 2, just change it to OGGDB2. Host name will be Gate 2. Change like these things, OGGDB2. So OGGDB2 is the database name, service name is OGGDB2, and server name is. So only this thing you have to do in Gate 2. On Gate 1, this should be fine because we have cloned it from there. PDB. Okay. And then you can start your listener. Start on both the sides. Similarly on Gate 1 as well, you can start your listener. lsnrctl start. Okay, so you are done. So in the next session, we'll create those application schemas and tables because these databases will take some time to create. So if you want to create application schemas, just in case if you want to create, we have got those scripts as well. /home/oracle/softwares/scripts. Have I kept over there? No. Okay. Schemas, etc. we'll create in the next session. We'll see in the window. We'll do the prerequisite, etc. Then we'll set up the application. In activity guide 3, we have got those steps. So we'll do in the next session, we'll continue from like prerequisite to set up Goldengate, then what is supplemental logging, setting up of application schema, all these things will be the next session. Okay. Any question you have for today's session? Any question from anyone? Okay. So guys, I hope today's session was informative and useful. So guys, one more thing, the activity guides will also be uploaded in the same folder where your recordings will be. So in the same folder, when you open, once it is shared with you, in the same folder, you will find the activity guides present over there. Okay. So it's not uploaded yet. The work is in progress. So once they are uploaded and shared with you, you will find the activity guides in the same folder. Okay. So any question from anyone? If no question is there, we can wrap up our session for today. So guys, I hope today's session was informative and useful and you were able to follow. How was it?
Yeah, it was really nice.
Thank you.
Nice stuff. It's very nice.
Good stuff, Ashish.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining today's session. And guys, if you have any doubts, any issues, any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Make most of your time. Like today you have time, tomorrow is Sunday. Make most of this time if you can. You have weekend as full weekdays as well. So anytime you are stuck, feel free to reach out to me. I am always there to help you out. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.